had a quick break, but we are back now. With me is Michael Bolton, Shadoo, Sastro.
Hello, friends.
How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I did manage to get my own personalized individual hate thread on the forums. So this one's for you, Hera B. I'm back.
I managed to get a sick nap in. I slept in a little late today because I didn't have to show up earlier, so it was good to go.
I'm just glad to join the Sastro Bolton show.
Yeah.
It's too bad you couldn't have slept in a little later.
All right, so we have the first match coming up. It's Pandemic Legion versus Unaffiliated. Before that, we don't have a dev guest, so maybe I should be the dev guest.
You are a dev, and
I am sometimes
not
a
a
dev.
guest.
Okay, I'll be the guest.
Hi, my name is John Zastor. I'll be interviewing you today. So I hear that you've recently been giving a new job title at CCP.
Mm-hmm.
What is that job title?
Well, thank you. It's a really good question, John Sastro. That's it's very, very wonderful. No, I'm currently the lead game designer for Flying in Space.
The lead game designer for Flying in Space. Who was the former lead game designer?
That's our good friend, CCP Hammerhead. I'm not sure we have him on this weekend, but he's usually very, very good and doing other things with the company now.
So he's no longer, is he still flying with Space, or is he doing stuff that we can't talk about?
He's doing stuff we can't talk about.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So as lead game designer, what have you guys been working on?
This winter is going to be my first, and we're aiming for 0.0 changes. A bit overdue.
High five.
We have some
High five.
some issues with minerals. We have a few issues with SOV. We have a few issues with pauses. We have a long list of stuff that kind of needs a little bit of a review, and that's going to be our focus for this winter. That's going to be Team PFF working on it.
And is that stuff that the CSM has been pushing?
Yeah, it certainly is. So we had the CSM here, and we kind of set a direction, and then the CSM got here, and we said this is kind of what we want to do, and they were very happy with it. We fleshed it out a little bit more, but we're close to the stage where we can probably start showing you guys some changes very soon.
Awesome. Are we talking about more new stuff or more iterations on existing stuff?
So when we talk about SOV and structures like that, I'm more a fan of an iteration because a lot of the time you'll take the old stuff out, you introduce something new, and then you'll find out that that has issues as well. Like taking something out that's a bit broken and putting something in that you can kind of predict how everything's going to go is probably not the best approach. So we had the POSs, and everyone was really tired of shooting them. So we put something else in, and we found out that had some issues. And maybe we can
more structures for us to shoot with more EHP. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we could rip that out and take another approach, but there'd really be no guarantee that we'd essentially solve the basic problem of those issues. But so changes, yeah, but ripping the old system out or just listening to feedback like too many structures, that's really annoying, or just like moving that away from structures. Sure, I think that might be a sound approach.
Now, do you think that you said you're lead game designer for EVE Online? Well,
for the Flying in Space part.
Do you have any effect or influence on how Dust 514 will interface with EVE Online and how that will affect gameplay, especially in 0-0?
Yes.
Could you maybe
In
elaborate
a
on that
word.
a little bit?
Not really at this point, not because I don't want to, but because we're probably at a stage where we're looking at concepting and just trying to figure out what it is. So I could tell you about our plans right now, but they could change. We're just trying to figure out what the best plugins are of that. So if the Alliance tournament was a few months ahead, then I'd probably be able to tell you something, but not really at this point.
Now, speaking of the Alliance tournament, we're seeing a lot of T3 ships. The T3 cruisers are very popular. Now, initially when the T3s were added to the game, there was talk of other classes of ship having a T3 version. Do you think we might be able to expect a T3 at some point, or is that in the works? Or is that something that you may want to be doing?
Yeah, it's not in the works, but it is like the most obvious place. So I'd either expand the field of capitals or Tech 3 ships.
So are we saying super duper capitals?
No.
No dupers.
Let's not like scale upwards, let's scale sideways.
Okay.
So more roles for capital ships would be interesting. If we were to take T3 ships, I think looking at completely different roles again.
I think we just saw a trailer recently where there was a certain ship shooting at a planet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sure, yeah. But I mean, I don't think we should just expand the number of ships just to expand them. I think if we have a good role for them, I want to do something new. Like the next ship type that comes in does something entirely new. And that's a good place to start with Tech 3s, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to just pass on to Sunset quickly, and we can chat more.
Hi, thank you, Soundwave. I'm CCP Sunset, back in the commentary booth with 2 new guests for today. I have Kill2 and I have Ravy with me. Now, Ravy is sitting in a different seat from yesterday. How do you like the change?
It's pretty good. I actually get to have this ear open without a microphone or anything else in it, and it's made it a lot easier to hear what you guys are saying.
Yep, and you can show off your lovely little name there.
I can
Just
indeed.
really beautifully placed for the camera. Very nice. So, Kill2, are you pleased to be back in the commentary booth, or do you prefer the studio?
Yeah, this is where I belong.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, it is magical, I guess.
Yep, you guys have been doing a great job commentating the matches and also in the studio. What about you, Ravy? Do you prefer being in the studio or in the
they're both
commentary?
great, but I probably prefer the studio a little bit. This is a lot of fun, but it's also a bit more fast-paced and a lot of work, while out there is more just like hanging out on Mumble and shooting the breeze about the tournament.
Yeah, and also you have your lovely glass of something to drink with some very special ice cubes in the studio. So that's a little bonus
But we
there.
have Quaif in here.
We certainly do. We certainly do, and that's so exciting. I love that drink. So there's lots of really cool matches coming up in this second segment today. Is there anything special that you're looking forward to or anything you're really hoping to see?
The next 4 matches, I think, are the ones I'm really looking forward to, because you've got 4 of probably the top 6 or 7 teams. PL, then Hydra, then it's Raiden first, then Darkside, and all those teams are excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing their matches.
Yeah, I see Kill2's already busily at work trying to get set up for the next match. Is there anything in particular you wanted to mention about the matches coming up?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Hydra fight because they're my guys, and I'm excited to see Pandemic Legion as well because I always am. Yeah, and we just got them on the field, so.
So it looks like we're coming close.
Yeah, getting
maybe
close.
only a few more minutes to go. Maybe we can quickly whiz back to the studio for a few more words before the first match starts of this second half.
All right, thank you very much. Remember that we do have the prediction contest running right now for this first match. It is a Logitech surround sound headset. I don't quite understand how a headset is surround, but that's probably because the people at Logitech are a lot smarter than me.
The miracle of technology.
Mm-hmm. What's next? 4D glasses.
What's what? Huh?
It was just a
Sorry.
awful joke.
Okay.
Anyway, do you guys have any last questions just before we
Yes.
head into the match?
Now, I'm not sure, this is kind of a big, broad one, but is there a specific vision that you could describe for what you see 0-0 space to be?
All right. That's a good question. Yeah, so 0.0 should kind of be, it should be like the most rewarding place. I think if we have the situation currently, I think 0.0 depends a lot more on Empire than the other way around, really. I'd like to balance that out. I think it has to be a two-way. I don't think it should just be one place just funds the other. It should be a two-way. But I think it should favor 0.0 a bit more. I think that for a large part of it, it should be relatively independent. When I say independent, I, of course, again, don't mean cutting the link off. But you should be able to sustain small-scale industry. Today, that's difficult with the TRID. It's difficult to do invention because you're lacking data cores. There's like a lot of small things that make 0.0 a little bit difficult to live in. And I mean, if you play a lot, if you're rich and you play a lot, you don't have the same issues that the guy on the ground has. Like the average EVE player that doesn't play a lot, that doesn't have a lot of money, isn't really as well outfitted to live in 0.0. And I'd like to kind of get the grunt a bit better, like living conditions. And it would be nice if we had more unique resources. We used to have it, but kind of with the introduction of the drone regions that drop mineral prices, with introduction of wormholes, we've kind of just pieced away from 0.0. So probably a more self-sustained 0.0 that's supplying Empire more than it is today. It would be very nice. And it would be nice to see some practical link between the two, but
I don't think you'll ever be able to get 0-0 completely severed from the markets of Empire. There's always going to be tons of
There
import.
should be a back and forth.
But I do like that idea of more self-sufficient empires out in 0-0. You're not constantly having to import every little thing. I think something we talked about at the FanFest roundtable was just ammunition. It's so hard to just even build ammunition.
I mean, Trit is a massive issue, for example. I mean, anyway, we can talk more. Let's go to the first match. Gentlemen, let's have your prediction. Pandemic Legion versus Unaffiliated.
Pandemic Legion versus Unaffiliated. The obvious choice is Pandemic Legion, but Unaffiliated is a pretty good team. Although I do want to see Pandemic and Hydra Reloaded both win, just so that they're both secured tomorrow and can come out with their funniest setups. So I'm going to go with Pandemic Legion, hoping for all haulers tomorrow.
I think we're definitely going to see an upset here, so I'm going to go for Unaffiliated, without a doubt.
Unaffiliated did get completely embarrassed by Hydra in their last match, but Pandemic Legion is probably the worst team that we have on this lineup today. So I'm going to go with Unaffiliated on this.
All right, that's a bold prediction. I'm going to go with Pandemic Legion. Thank you.